spoiled. Spoiled children,
Spoiled
children who get
Children who
everything
gets everything
that they want,
that they
sometimes
sometimes
end up being
end up
spoiled
being
adults.
spoiled
a little bit.
adults.
They end up
They
being
end up
a little
being
bit
a little bit
entitled.
entitled.
So when you
So
describe
when you describe
someone as being
someone as
entitled,
being
you could
entitled,
describe
you could
children
describe
and
children
teenagers and
teenager
adults
and
as
adults
being entitled.
as being
It
entitled.
means that they
It means
feel like
that they feel
everything
like
should be
everything
given
should
to
be
them.
given to them.
A child
A
who
child
is
who is
spoiled, in my
spoiled, in my
opinion, a
opinion,
child who
a
gets
child who
everything
gets
they want
everything they
when they are a
want
kid,
when they was a kid,
sometimes grows up to be an
grows up to be
entitled
an
teenager or an entitled adult.
adult.
They think that
They
everything
think that
should just be
everything
given to them.
just be given to them.
They feel like they're
They feel
entitled
like
to
they're
it.
entitled.
It's kind of a
It's kind of a
strange personality trait when you are
when you
entitled.
are entitled.
Entitled people
Entitled people
tend to be a little bit
a little bit
difficult to be around. It can be
This can be
frustrating
frustrating
to
too.
it can be frustrating to be
To
around
be
people who
around
are
people
entitled
who are
because they
entitled
feel they
because they
sometimes make you
sometimes
feel
they
like you should do things
Do
for them.
feel like you should.
I,
do
a
things
long
for them.
time ago,
I, a long
worked
time
with
ago,
someone
worked with
who was
someone who
entitled. It was a strange
entitled.
experience.
It was a strange experience.
Another word for
Another word for
rambunctious is
rambunctious
hyper.
is hyper.
I think the longer
I think
form
a
of the
longer
word
form
is
of the word is
hyperactive.
hyperactive.
I think some children are
children
hyperactive.
are hyperactive.
When I was a
When I
kid,
was a kid,
I just got to check my slides here.
Check my slides.
I would have been
I
described
wouldn't
as
have
hyper as
been
well.
described
When
as
a child is
hyper as
hyper,
well.
they
A
have
child
lots of
hyper, they
energy.
have lots
They
of
have
energy.
trouble
They
sitting
have
in their
trouble
seat.
sitting in
They're
their
kind of
seat.
hyper.
They kind
They
of
talk
hyper.
a lot. They
talk
run
a lot,
around
they
a
run
lot.
around a lot.
Children who are
Children who
hyper
are hyper
are certainly
are
like
certainly
that.
like that.
Sorry, I just see the
I
chat,
just see
Brett,
the
saying
chat,
I was
Brett
every
saying, I
parent's
was
dream
every
as a kid.
parent's
So
dream
I have
as
a
a kid.
slide
I have
maybe
a
that
slide.
describes Brett coming up later. We'll see
Describe
if
Brett's
this one
coming up later.
applies to Brett. Some children are inquisitive. And I know this seems like a really long and big English word, but we do use this word. We will say things like, one of my children is really inquisitive, or my neighbor's kid is really inquisitive, or my nephew or niece is very inquisitive. An inquisitive child is interested in the things around them. So in this picture, you can see an adult playing a guitar, and the child is interested. The child is being inquisitive. They want to know where the sounds come from. Maybe they want to play the strings themselves. My children have always been inquisitive. It's really cool. So when I do things, they like to ask me questions. They're not as inquisitive about the flower farm. They like computers. But they don't all like flower farming. Hopefully they grow into it. This maybe is going to be the one that describes Brett. Because I saw he said that he was his parents' dream. Maybe Brett was well-behaved. A well-behaved child who doesn't break the rules. A well-behaved child does what their parents tell them to do. A well-behaved child at school listens to the teachers. When the teachers give them instructions, a well-behaved child. Okay, no problem. So different than a spoiled child, or maybe an entitled child. A well-behaved child. It's just a nice kid. That would probably be how we would describe them as well. Your children are very well-behaved. People would sometimes say that to me. And then I would say, you should see them at home. Sometimes when we were out in public, when our children were younger, they were well-behaved. They were always well-behaved, but not always well-behaved at home. There you go. Some good information about the well-behaved. So the opposite of well-behaved would be rebellious. This word is often used when talking about teenagers. Some teenagers go through a rebellious stage or a rebellious stage in their life. So sometimes around age 14 or 15 until they're about 20 or 21, they rebel. They don't want to listen to people who are in charge of them. They don't want to listen to authority. So rebellious teenagers sometimes don't listen to their parents. They don't listen to their teachers. Sometimes they get in trouble with the law. And sometimes they engage in behaviors that we call self-destructive. Okay? So a rebellious teenager might do things that are self-destructive. Like smoking. Sometimes maybe they do drugs. Definitely teenagers who are rebellious do not listen to teachers, do not listen to their parents. Rebellious teachers. Rebellious teachers. That was a little
That's
slip
really
there.
good.
Yes, teachers are
Teachers are
sometimes
sometimes
rebellious, but
rebellious,
that's not what I meant. Rebellious
Rebellious
teenagers
teenagers.
just don't listen
Just don't
to
listen
people
to
in
people
authority
in
over
authority
them.
over
When I
them.
use the phrase
When you
in
use the phrase
authority,
in
that would
authority,
be
that would
parents
be parents
or their
or
boss
their
or
boss
their
or their
teachers,
teachers,
people who are in
people who
authority over
are in
them.
authority.
You might
You
have
might have
run into a
run
child
into
who
a
is
child
alert.
who's alert.
A child who is
A
alert.
child who is alert.
Well, it's the opposite of a
This
child who
opposite of
falls
who is
asleep.
fallen asleep.
When we would
When
drive
we
in our
drive
van
in our
a long
van a
distance,
long
some of
distance,
our kids
some
would
kids
fall asleep.
We'll fall
But
asleep.
we have
But
other
we have
kids
other
who were
kids
very
who are
alert
very
while we
alert
were driving. They
when
like
we were
to look at
driving.
things
They like
out
to
of
look
the
at things
window.
out of the window.
Sometimes children
Sometimes children
who are alert
who
sit
are
in the front
alert
of the
sits in front of the
classroom,
classroom
and they're very
and
interested,
very
in the
interested
lesson.
in the
So
lessons.
a child who is
A
alert
child who is alert
doesn't always
doesn't
have their
always
eyes
have
wide
their
open,
eyes
but
open,
it's a good
but
way
it's a good
to
way
remember
to
the word
remember the
alert.
word alert.
A child who
A
is
child
alert
who
is
is alert
certainly
is
paying
certainly
attention.
paying
A
attention.
child who is alert
A child who
is
is alert
certainly
is certainly
aware
aware
of what's
happening
them.
around them.
Definitely. Let's see here.
Let's see here.
Yes, Brett has
Yes,
to run.
Brett has to run.
Sorry, Brett. I know you have to work
I
today.
have to work
don't.
today.
In Canada, we
In
don't
Canada,
work
we
on
don't
Good
work
Friday.
on Good
I know in the
Friday.
U.S.
I
you
know
guys
you
still
guys
do sometimes. but
sometimes
we
people
don't. We
work.
get the day off.
We get the day off.